a start to another episode.
Another episode. Guess what we're going to go over? We're going to go over, well, FFG so gracefully has released the rules for 2.0.
Just
Jared can stop his
hours before we
whining now.
decide to vote.
Actually, Cherry can stop his whining now.
Whatever.
And we can go over some rules with the new stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to try not to make this extremely long. We're going to touch base on a few things.
We'll go over it and see what changes and stuff are. We already looked at the get started sheet, and it was basically the same as 1.0.
Yeah.
This is how you fly a ship. If you hit a rock, this happens. If you bump, this happens. Here's 3 tokens to start playing with, and that's about it. It wasn't too in-depth. But the new one, oh, look at that. Darth Vader's coming in to take Luke out. We all know that ended the wrong way, but anyways.
No, it didn't.
Rule book. Doesn't say 2.0 or anything, though, does it? Just says
it's
rule
just
book.
black. The thing that should give it away that's 2.0, if you need bigger glasses, is the fact that it's got a black frame on the outside.
Yeah,
would make
whatever.
sense.
I will say that the packaging and marketing department is putting out really top-notch looking stuff. I got Legion boxes that I've kept just because the boxes look nice. I'm that bad. Okay, introduction.
So
your T-65 X-Wings engines roar as you swerve into the asteroid field. Okay, in Curtis's case, it swerved onto an asteroid field, but we'll get there eventually. Skirting debris and fragments past battle. So a bit of an introduction to the game. They show you how to put the pegs on the bases and all that nonsense. Assembly of the dials.
The dials is pretty good, so you're going to be able to see all the dials now.
Yeah.
You're not going to have. They're not going to be hidden, so it's going to be able to. The dial's going to be able to be viable no matter what all the time.
Then
so.
ID tokens showing you where to put them. That's
nothing
nice.
new. And
Setting
then they're going
wings to attack position.
Yeah. So sometimes what people will do is they won't actually do the wing thing because they're actually sometimes difficult to do and it moves the ship quite a bit. So what some people will do is they'll just leave them open or closed. But FFG's looks like they're making it very clear
I think they just want
that if
people
you're actually doing it, that you're going to have to actually
squeeze the engines.
Yeah, but you're also going to have to actually do it physically.
Yeah. Now the fun part though, component list, because that's what's going to be in the starter set.
So your starter set, so you get 1 quick start guide, which is normal, right? You get 13 ship cards. You get 4 quick build cards.
Of course, your ships.
You get 3 ships, 6 plastic pegs, 3 plastic bases, 3 plastic ship miniatures. Yeah. You get 3 maneuver dials, obviously 2 of the Rebel, or 1 Rebel and 2
20 upgrade cards.
You get 20 of the upgrade cards, 33 damage cards, which is the normal allotment. You get your range rulers with the new
templates.
The new templates and
precision markers.
The precision markers, which are like ship markers, right? So we've created one of ourselves as well, but this one they've actually started supplying you with one. Yep. They have a hyperspace markers
first
now.
Player.
Yeah, they have the first player.
You get 2 hyperspace markers. We'll have to see what that's about.
So and then you get 4 shields.
Blue and red.
Yeah. And then you have 6 standard charges, which is red and yellow. And you get 2 force charges, which are purple and red. You get 8 ship tokens. So that's the cardboard template. Yeah. You get 6 obstacles, 3 asteroids, 3 debris clouds.
And you know what? That particular piece of debris looks rather familiar.
I think they're all the same. I don't think they've changed any. Looks like all the debris and stuff hasn't changed, so you could probably still use your old stuff if you had it. You have 6 target locks. You get 3 ion tokens, 5 stress tokens, 1 disarm token. You get 6 dice, 3 red, 3 green like normal. 3 dial ID tokens. You get 18 ID tokens. 4 focus tokens, 3 evade tokens, and 3 criticals, which are the damage markers that you need. Then the next thing that it goes on to is fundamental concepts. So you got your ships, your measuring, your initiative.
Well, they've got initiative, and they're pointing out Luke's 5.
He's a 5.
Fenn Rau was a 6.
So we were wondering what was going on because no one knew if Luke was going to be in, but he's obviously in the starter kit.
Yeah.
There's Luke's pilot ability is a 5, so there doesn't seem to be any X-Wings that have a 6.
Not that we know of yet.
That we know of.
Yeah. So they go over initiative, first player, all that stuff. First player marker. I mean, same as
the initiative and stuff goes the same way. It's the highest pilots
it's
go.
all the same stuff.
Measuring range, that's the same thing.
Same stuff.
Same, so you don't got to change any of that. Your setup is the same. So you put your force tokens on, you put your shields on, you put your charges on. All that stuff gets now. You're gonna have more stuff on your cards than just your shield tokens.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to actually have your force tokens and your shield tokens and your energy charge tokens on each of your cards. So, which is another reason why the cards are as big as they are. So everybody's wondering
that might be why they went to larger upgrades.
Everybody was wondering why the upgrade cards are so large. That's the reason why, so that you can put your tokens and stuff on top of the cards.
Yeah, standard setup, gather forces, put your builds together, determine player order. You pretty easy, establish the play area, still 3x3. Same thing, Starfield play mats, they'll all be good. Place obstacles, we all know what gets done there. Yeah, 2 from the edge and 1 from each other. Place the forces down, you can do that on pilot abilities, and
you can place other components, shuffling your deck, facing down your stuff.
Okay, so play X-Wing
is played over a series of rounds. Each round consists of 5 phases. Phase 1 is your planning phase. We all know this phase. We're very familiar with this phase. All it is you choosing your maneuver dial and your maneuvers.
Yeah. System phase. Some ships can resolve specific abilities. So I guess after you've set your dials, anything that has special abilities that you do before activation will be kicking in. That's new.
Yeah, that's new system.
That'll be new.
And the next phase is activation phase. So we're all familiar with the activation phase. That's where you get to perform your actions.
Yeah.
And then
that's
the next
about
phase,
it. Yeah,
and then you have your engagement phase, which
you
is
roll dice, shoot at each other, roll all the non-pink dice that we like to roll constantly.
And the end phase is your obviously your circular tokens are removed, ships and some charges are recovered. The second phase, the system phase, I believe is where the new bombs and stuff take effect.
Yeah, I believe so. It goes into the phases in more detail here. So planning phase, everybody.
We don't need to go over the planning phase. We all know what the planning phase is.
Everybody sets the dials, all that nonsense.
So we'll just go straight into
the dials are nice. Just
the dials are nice.
One second.
There we go. System
phase.
Some ships have special abilities that indicate they are used during the system phase. All of these abilities are resolved in initiative order, starting with the lowest initiative. Go ahead if you want to read the second section of it.
So the ships contained in the X-Wing core set do not have any of these abilities, but some expansion ships do, such as the TIE PH Phantom and Ghost expansions. So TIE PH Phantom, so that's a new Phantom? It's just TIE Phantom before.
Yeah, it's probably just...
So it's new. So let's see. All of these abilities are resolved in initiative order, starting with the lowest initiative.
So it's the same way, but it's kind of a special ability.
No, because the smaller pilots resolve their abilities.
It's the same way as attack. So when you attack, or when you move, you move the lowest pilot first, and they attack last.
Yeah, but the system phase, I believe, is going to let you drop bombs and stuff.
Yeah,
so if the lowest pilot gets to move and drop bombs or whatever, that's an advantage for the low pilots.
To some extent.
Yeah, it'll be more of an advantage to low pilots than it will the 6s and the 5s. So activation phase, reveal dial, execute maneuver, perform actions. Same as before. They get into the maneuver dials and let's see, the front guides and the flush to the base and using the lines and all that kind of stuff. And stress tokens if you do red, all that kind of stuff. An example of a maneuver. I mean, we're all pretty familiar with that. Performing actions.
Choose performing actions are some of the most impactful decisions a player makes during the game. Actions provide several benefits, primarily an ability and reposition to the enhance offense defense capability during the engagement phase.
Yeah, so we'll see it in later rules, and it gives some
examples of marker
using the marker. Well, that's really good because no, that's good. Actually, you know what? I think by going to the markers, they're trying to avoid all the bumping and knocking over that went over it in one. I mean, we're pretty
which is the reason why I created the ones for the Crimson Knight Ravens.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so that we're not sitting there bumping ships left, right, center.
No, they're a popular thing. It's just Yeah, it's neat that they go into instructions for that. Engagement phase.
Arcs.
Yeah, they get into arcs.
So each ship has 4 arcs printed on its ship token: front, back, left, and right. Ships attack from the printed firing arc, which is the arc on the ship token that is shaded. The color of the shading corresponds to the faction of the ship. So if you're Scum, your color will be orange. If you're Rebel, it's red. If you're Imperial, it's probably black or gray.
Well, yeah, it'll be like
right. And then your other arcs are just generic colors, like when it's not originally. So
the
targeting
restrictions the same. It's got to be in the attacker's firing arc. Target must be at range 1 to 3.
That hasn't changed.
Yeah, all the same sort of stuff. And then performing an attack.
You had to declare your attack.
Yeah.
Then you would throw your attack dice, which is the attacking player rolls attack dice equal to the attack value of the attacking ship's card. Then the defender player must use their abilities that modify the attack dice.
No, that's not
by the
must.
attacking player.
It's this defending player may use their abilities that modify the attack dice following the attack player. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
And then the defense die, of course, that he rolls him.
Rolls then green equal to the agility value of the ship.
Then the attacking player
may use their abilities that modify the defense dice, followed by the defending player. Yeah. Neutralizing results. Each evade results cancels 1 hit or critical result, removing both dice from the dice pool. All hit results must be canceled before crit results are canceled.
Yeah, so it's the same.
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
Deal damage, the same. Aftermath, abilities that trigger after an attacker resolved, done.
So, suffering damage, obviously we know what it is. You remove shields.
Well,
heading into the thing, you move crits.
Yeah, but it's a little different because they have active shield, which is blue, and inactive shield, which is red.
Oh, that's right. So there's different. So how would we read this? So suffer damage. Damage causes ships to lose shields or be dealt damage cards. There are 2 types of damage: critical or hits and crits. Right. For each damage a ship suffers, it loses a shield by flipping the shield to the inactive side.
Okay.
If it does not have the active shield remaining, it is dealt a damage card instead. For each hit damage, the card is dealt face down. For each crit damage, the card is dealt face up. So it's pretty much the same thing, but instead of before us removing the shield totally,
we're just turning
them over to turn them red, which means the shields have dropped. Which means what it does is instead of during the game to make the game faster, is it allowing you to, like, let's say for instance, like R2-D2 renews shields, right? So when you use R2-D2's energy to renew a shield, you flip the shield back up already, so it's ready to go back to blue. So
there's got to be some other aspects to the game because I don't see this as a speed bump.
A ship is destroyed with a total number of face up or face down damage cards equal to the exceeds of the whole value, destroying all the ships. Blah blah blah.
So then they have an example of attack. They use Luke Skywalker flying in on an Academy pilot and blowing him up, rolling lots of dice, and of course Luke wins. Critical damage markers. I mean, we already have those. End phase comes up the same. Players remove all green and orange circular tokens from the ships in play area. And some charges on cards may flip to their active side.
And winning the game, obviously, is the same way. You clear the player's thing or time runs out.
Yeah. Okay, so
additional rules. So actions. So additional rules, it says ready to learn the game's remaining concepts. Actions. Actions represent things a pilot can do, such as repositioning slightly or flying defensively. A ship may perform 1 action during the perform action step of its activation phase. Why are you moving so fast? Available to a ship at listed the action bar on the right side of the ship card. So on the right side of your ship card is your available actions.
Yeah.
In addition to the action during that perform action step, card abilities may instruct the ship to perform an additional action. There is no limit to the number of actions a ship can potentially perform. However, a ship cannot perform the same action more than once per round. So that hasn't changed.
No.
All it's saying is if there is, first they're saying, like we've been looking, if the card has a white maneuver into a red maneuver, you can do both actions.
Yeah.
So some of the action icons are red. After a ship performs one of these actions, it gains a stress token. A ship that is stressed for any reason cannot perform actions or execute red maneuvers. That hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So the linked action, which is what we're talking about, it's like
Yeah.
push the limit. So some ships have actions linked to other actions on their ship's cards. A ship can perform a linked action after it performs an action to the left of the linked action. So type of actions. The actions includes a ship or upgrade cards in this product are described below.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the focus into a barrel roll.
Yeah.
So it's a you
And I
can
think
focus,
that's-
which is white, and then you can barrel roll off of that focus. After you get it, you can barrel roll right away.
But it's your choice to do it. And the barrel
Yeah.
roll seems to be the more popular one that
That
I've
they're
seen
pushing
so
into?
far. Yeah.
Yeah.
So focuses are the same. You can use a focus to change all
The focuses to hits,
or crits.
or
I think it's
hits.
the evade. Evade represents pilot. Yeah, I believe the evade is the same as it was before. Blah 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 blah.
barrel roll's the same thing. Take the one range maneuver and make the
Yeah.
barrel roll. Actually, the barrel roll has changed though,
How's that?
because there's
Oh, you
3
got the
marks.
lines.
There's lines on the marks now
Yeah, right here.
on the base that you can only. So the line that's in the middle of the template now is there's 3 slashes on the 3 dashes on the thing that you can
Yeah,
only
both
use.
sides have 3 slashes, so
Yeah.
theoretically, you only got 6 different positions that it'll end up in, depending on which of these. Because you got
Which
1,
side
2,
you go on.
3, 1, 2, 3.
It's 3 on one side, 3 on the
Yeah.
other.
So I mean, it is held
So-
back a little bit that way,
And the difference with the barrel
but
roll
not major.
this time is if you decide to make that barrel roll and you choose to do it and then it doesn't make it, you've lost your action.
Well, they've done that for all actions. If you decide to do a target lock and you're too far away,
That's it. You've lost that action.
You've lost that action.
So you can't do another action. So now it's a little bit more, you gotta be a little bit more careful when you do your actions, because if you do one action and it fails, you don't get another one. So just kind of keep that stuff in mind now when you're playing, right?
Yeah.
The boosts haven't changed. It's still the 1 straight with the 2 soft.
Yeah.
The locks haven't changed. It's in
Well,
ranges
there's
0 to
only
3.
one target lock that you put out now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so-
I mean, it's the same concept. 0 to 3. Assign it. It's all good. So let's see here. Card actions.
So, card actions says some cards, such as damage and upgrade cards, have abilities that include the action header. A ship may resolve one of these abilities as an action. So, action is spend 1 energy to charge to repair 1 shield.
Yeah, and that's probably why they have us not getting rid of the shields, is
Yeah.
because there's lots of ways to repair them. in
Repair
this
them and
game.
stuff in the new one.
Yeah,
And then you have your bullseye arc.
which we all know I love, but now everybody has. Kind of sucks. But
So every
it's all
ship
good.
has a bullseye arc. All
Yeah.
ship tokens have a bullseye arc printed inside their main firing arc.
Yeah.
This narrow arc has no inherent effect, but some card abilities refer to it. So right now we have only the Kumla that has
The bonus is right off the bat.
the bullseye arc.
Yeah.
But in their bullseye arc, they have bonuses in that bullseye arc. So what they're saying is you're going to have the bullseye arc, but there's no bonuses in that arc. It's certain other aspects
Yeah, it'll be other abilities
that's
are
on the card.
Yeah.
So when you add a card that allows you to use your bullseye arc for something, then the bullseye arc becomes more of a special ability for you to use.
Yeah.
Range bonuses are the same.
thing. Yeah, right. Destroying ships.
Doesn't change. Blow up all their hull. They go
Still
bye-bye.
have
They have
simultaneous
simultaneous
fire.
fire.
That's all the same.
Flee in the area, same
which
thing.
is when you accidentally fly off the board.
Yep. So
You're
if
gone.
you end up off the ship, you're done.
Repairing damaged cards.
If an effect instructs a player to repair a damaged card, they can repair either a face-up or face-down damaged card. To repair a face-up damaged card, this card is flipped face down. To repair a face-down damaged card, the card is discarded to the damaged card discard pile.
So
So
it's a way to get rid of damage.
there
cards.
is ways now for you to be, when you're repairing your ship, you're actually going to be able to discard to repair your hull. So keep that in mind. That's a pretty cool ability. We can't do that before, right? So this one here, now they're saying you can do that. So you can get rid of your face-up damage card or your face-down damage card, and your face-up card just gets flipped the other way around to not be active. So you're able to repair those damage cards and remove them now. So that's pretty cool ability. where we weren't able to do that before. So that's kind of neat.
Well, and with the face up and the face down, they're dealing with normal hits and crits, right? Because if you get a crit, it's face up. To repair a crit, you basically have to do the repair action twice to get rid of it.
Yeah.
If it's just a normal hit, you do the action once to get rid of it.
But we don't know what the repairing is yet. So
well, we're working.
It looks
on
like it's so
upgrade cards.
Upgrade cards represent the different ways that pilots customize their ships, such as incorporating astromechs, equipping ordnance. These cards can provide special abilities or alternative ways to attack. There may be types of upgrades, or as distinguished by the icon on the left side of the card. So there's nothing there that's different.
No.
Special weapons. Special weapons. Unlike the primary weapon, the red number and firing arc symbol on the ship card, upgrade cards with the attack header, such as proton torpedoes, are special weapons. A ship can perform an attack with a special weapon instead of using its primary weapon.
Same as before, yeah.
Same as before, but instead
they have different cures.
There's different abilities to it, right? So
arc
requirement. This indicates that the arc this weapon attacks from, the target must be in this arc of the weapon. So when you look at like the proton torpedoes, it has the firing arcs like around everything. So when you look at it, it's obviously highlighted the area that ship comes up. That hasn't changed.
Well, no.
But other than the fact that it now actually shows you on the card where.
Yeah, but you know where that's key with the attacking arc is there's lots of ships now that you rotate
the
arcs. So if you've got a ship that's got two arcs and they're not facing, but the enemy's still in this arc, you can still use that attack of that arc, I would think.
No, I don't think so. That's not where it works with proton torpedoes. It's just the main firing arc. It doesn't say that you can maneuver it.
Well, no, it just says the enemy has to be in that arc to use it.
That's the front arc, not the back.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is instead of having his two pointing at the front and the rear, what if he has his two pointing at the sides?
It doesn't matter. That's a secondary weapon.
And then
that's a turret. Not a turret. It's a secondary weapon.
Yeah, I guess.
So the primary firing arc still remains the same.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, proton torpedoes can't fire out the left or the right or the rear because they don't have the ability to do that.
No, but what I'm saying is he still has the ability to do that secondary attack.
He does have a secondary
weapon. Even though that he's changed his arcs, he still has that front arc to shoot from.
Yes, technically he does have that abilities, but again, there's probably going to have to be cards that you're going to have to use to be able to do more.
And what's with the attack value?
This is the number of the attack dice the attacker rolls. So next to it, the same thing hasn't changed, right? First proton torpedoes, it's 4 dice, so they get 4 dice.
What's the range bonus?
Bonus indicator: if there's a missile symbol present, range bonuses are not applied while attacking with this weapon. So again, range bonuses don't change. If you have...
Yeah, but by that being there, it tells me that some secondary weapons are going to have range bonuses.
Correct. So what they're saying is if it has the mark of a torpedo or whatever on there, it tells you that you can use it and is a secondary weapon, which then obviously range bonuses do not include. Where before, so if you don't have that on there, that weapon can now be used out of a range in both in your primary as well as your secondary.
This is secondary. So what this is telling you?
Yeah, that's telling you it's a secondary only.
No, what it's telling you is you don't get range bonus.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, you do have range bonus, and this symbol is used only on the secondary weapons. So some secondaries are going to have range bonus, and some aren't.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Is there? Let's see. Blah blah blah. Yeah, they just go over
the spending on 1 charge to change 1 hit to a crit, that kind of thing.
That kind of stuff. Yeah,
charges and the force. So this is new.
This is new stuff. This is
many upgrade cards represent a limited resource, such as weapon with infinite ammo. These cards hold standard charges, which limits how often the ability can be used. Each card with a charge limit, the gold number, starts a game with the number of charge equal to the charge limit. Each charge starts on its active side. The card's ability will instruct the player how and when to spend the charge from that card. When the charge is spent, it is flipped to the inactive side.
Yeah.
During the end phase, each card with the charge limit recovers 1 charge if it has a small arrow next to the charge limit. When a charge is recovered, it is flipped to its active side. So there's going to be an arrow that says that certain abilities on charges say that you're going to be able to recover charges. So if it has an arrow, a little triangular yellow gold arrow, then that allows you to recharge once every turn. You get 1 charge.
So again,
up until max.
Again, like the secondary weapons are giving you the ability to
reload them.
Possibly reload them, or possibly
if they have
not.
a triangle.
Yeah. So again, and you can see by this, man, I can't wait for the FFG kits because they're just making more use of more tokens. I love tokens. Yeah.
So
I love tokens.
The force charges.
Force charges. This is again new.
Some pilots can
exert
their influence over the force pilots who can use the force. Have a force capacity, the purple number. The force charges look like a little flower.
Yeah.
Force capacity on the ship card. Force charges. Force capacity is the force operate identical to the charge limit and charges. But force have an additional function. While attacking, a ship can spend any number of force during the attack dice step to change that number of focus results to hit results. While defending, a ship can spend any number of force during the defensive dice step to change that number of any of its focuses to evades. So you're going to be able to so for instance, Luke has 2 force. So you can actually spend all of Luke's force on 1 attack if you want to change all of his hits to.
Well, no, you could only change 2 focuses to 2 hits.
There are 2 focuses.
What it basically like is right now with Poe and Luke, where they get to take the focus and keep it.
Yeah.
And if they just use it once, that doesn't move. If they have to use it twice, it disappears. It's the same sort of concept with the force, really, when it comes down to it.
And you'll be able to recharge force too. Increasing and decreasing maneuver difficulty. Ship sizes are changed now. So there's a million base. Partial maneuvers.
They go over overlapping and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Advanced maneuvers.
Yeah, and they got the
hash cargo marks. Grand turn. K turn.
Yeah.
So they still have the K turn. Still there. Example of overlapping multiple ships.
Yeah, they go over the bumping.
The Talon roll.
Oh, we love Talon rolls. They're great.
Timing and abilities. Additional token rules.
Well, let's see. If 2 or more abilities resolve at the same time, at the start, whatever. The abilities are resolved in player order. The first player resolves all of their own abilities with that turn timing before the other player. I think that's basically where it works now. Let's see.
Additional token rules. When a ship is instructed to gain a token from the supply is placed in the player area next to the ship. Doesn't change anything. So again, it's the same kind of stuff. When a ship is instructed to spend a token, or they're instructed to remove it, a token from a ship, the token of that ship of that type is returned from the ship to supply. When a ship is instructed to transfer a token to another ship, blah blah blah, it goes from that ship to the other ship.
Yeah, but you notice they're saying keep it on the cards, not on the table.
No, it's play area. So that play area.
Oh, play area next to the ship. I thought they said put it in the supply. Okay. No. Color and shape of tokens help remind players of when to take them off. We already heard of that earlier. So green tokens, these tokens are circular.
And positive effects
they're positive
and are removed during the end phase. Orange tokens, these tokens are circular, have negative effects, and are removed during the end phase. Blue tokens, these tokens are square, have positive effects, and are removed and specified by the token's effect. Red tokens, these tokens are square, have a negative effect, and are removed as specified by the token's effect.
Yeah, and then they go over 2 tokens that they're including in the core set, the disarm token and the ion token.
Ionized.
Yeah, ionized. We're all pretty familiar with all that. Let's see here, obstacles.
Squad building.
Oh, let's get here for obstacles.
Asteroids, debris, obstructions.
Obstructions.
hasn't changed. They got the ID
The
dial
ID
tokens.
for the dials.
So,
let's see.
Squad building. There are two main modes for playing X-Wing. There's a quick build. This mode of play offers players a way to create a squad quickly using predefined selections. Each ship comes with quick build cards that list different options for that ship. Each option consists of a ship card, a number of upgrade cards, and a threat level, a number of bars 1 to 5. This threat level represents the approximate strength of their particular combination of the pilot and upgrade cards. The option for Luke has the threat level 3, indicated by the 3 full bars below his name. So he's got his name and there's bars below, so he's 3. To play a match using quick build cards, players must agree to a particular threat level. For a normal game on a 3x3 play area, play at threat level 8 you will need more ships than those included in the core set to play
they've got it covered. If they don't have access to their online thing, you pull out your threat level cards. Okay, I can play 8. Whatever I get up to 8 is what I throw on the board and play. That's a quick way to play.
Yeah.
For new players, it's pretty simple. They don't have to go online or log in.
Then both players build a squad by choosing a combination of quick build options that add up to the threat level. For example, a player who owns just the 1 core set could build a squad for the game at the threat level of 3 and choose the ID Visceral and Academy Pilot options from the quick build cards, including this product. So again, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
they're allowing you to do quick builds for people where they're already preset builds. So the cards are going to come in. You're going to look at them. There's going to be pre-built sets for you to be able to play. So if you don't have online and you just want to play the game and you don't have the app, you can just play.
They say you can spend up to 8, 9 points for threat level, and people spend those points on whatever ships they want, and they go play. The ships are already built for them. It's pretty simple. I was wondering why they had the build cards. Kind of makes sense now. Makes it play. Squad points.
So squad point limit is now 200. So we already knew that it was going to go up by 100, but we also know that it's going to cost more for everything else.
Yeah, and they're saying right here you must download the official X-Wing Squad Builder app on your mobile device or whatever.
Or access a Squad Builder via xwing.com.
Yeah.
The X-Wing Squad Builder explains the rules of squad point building and enforces these rules so that players do not accidentally build illegal squads. The website also indicates a printable list of all cards and their squad point costs and upgrade options.
So that's cool.
Right now there's an X-Wing Squad Builder out where you can go in, you make your loadout, you print it out, and it shows all the cards.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. They've been really popular.
So this here is saying that it's what it does. But the problem is you're not going to be able to use all your other squad building apps that you have on your phone because they don't have access to FFG's system.
Well, no, they will.
No, they won't.
Why? They just log on and copy all the points and stuff. And then transfer it over to theirs. I mean, it'll be a lot of work. I don't know if a lot of those sites
I don't think those sites are going to do that, but the only way that there might be maybe one other one that FFG might approve of that'll allow them to take over a little bit and help out, but I highly doubt it because it looks like FFG is making this very, very, very in-house.
In-house, yes.
So that it is strictly controlled by them, which is fine.
It's their game.
It's the way it is. It's their game. They're trying to limit other people's.
Well, it's damage control for tournaments and that. They're making it pretty straightforward. Limited, and actually it's a good idea because if you're not using their squad builder and you show up to a tournament using some other squad builders lists, they have no control over the points in that squad builder had used, right? It's going to cause problems. So I can see why they're doing it.
So the limited thing still is the same. Anybody that has a dot beside their name, you can only use one in a loadout.
What's this?
Escalation. Instead of the normal match, players can enjoy an escalation match in which they control a series of increasingly dangerous ships to play in an escalation match. Players build a squad as described in the quick build section of the threat level of 4. If playing with only the core set, see the core set escalation rules below. Then the players set up the game. After placing obstacles, the first player places the hyperspace marker marked 1 into the play area. It must be placed beyond range 0 of all obstacles and beyond range 1 of the edge of the play area. Then the other player places hyperspace marker 2, following the same rules, but it must be placed beyond range 3 of the marker. Can you stop moving that?
Well, I'm just trying to find the rest of it. Give me a second. Oh, it must be. Yeah, it must be this.
So during the end phase, if the ship was destroyed during the round, its player chooses 1 or 2 pilots from this collection of quick build cards whose total threat is 1 higher than the destroyed ship's threat. Then that player selects 1 of the 2 hyperspace markers and rolls 1 attack die. If the ship is placed in the play area so its rear guides are flush against
hyperspace,
the side of the hyperspace marker, and corresponds in the die result. On a crit result, the player chooses any side of the marker inside. So they have the hyperspace marker, which is going to be able. So these hyperspace markers are for you to play like an escalation match.
Yeah.
So you have ships off the board. You put your warp tokens on. So if you lose a ship, then you can roll an attack dice, which allows you to bring a ship in through the hyperspace thing, which is pretty cool.
And it'll be a stronger ship.
And it'll be a stronger ship than what you already have.
Yeah. So
that's kind of neat.
And then they give an example of just using the core set for the escalation game. So new actions.
There's calculate.
Yeah.
Cloak, which we already knew.
Well,
and reinforce, which is also changed.
Well, calculate first.
Calculate. So when a ship performs the calculate action, it gains 1 calculate token, which is a green circular token. A ship may spend a calculate token to change 1 of its focus results to a hit or to an evade result. So there is a card right now that we have that is called calculate, but I believe it only allows you to change I think it's only a hit or a crit. I think it's only a hit or a crit.
I know this lets
you... It doesn't allow you to do the...
Yeah, I know calculate only lets you change 1.
1.
So I'm not sure
and
why you would go that route, but there's got to be a reason for it.
So this calculate does allow you to do that. So it's kind of like a very mini version of like expertise, I guess you could kind of say, right? Doesn't allow you to roll. You don't have to re-roll dice. You just spend the calculate token. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to like roll a calculate, and then you'll be able to find another way to maneuver or change dice. Yeah. The cloaking device hasn't changed.
Well, when a ship was it agility value by 2, or was it 1?
It always was 2. Yeah. When a ship performs the cloak action, it gains 1 cloak token, which is a blue token. A cloaked ship has the following effects: its agility value is increased by 2. It is disarmed, so you're not going to be able to fire with that ship. It cannot perform the cloak action or gain a 2nd cloak token. During the system phase, each cloaked ship may spend its cloak token to decloak as described below. Small ship, it must choose to boost or barrel roll with the 2 template, which is
2 straight template.
It's done with
medium or large ships.
So the medium or large ships are allowing you to also use a cloak now. So that's kind of cool. So the cloaking,
that'll be new.
So like you could put like a cloaking device on the Millennium Falcon.
Well, maybe we don't know if we can or not. But
whatever the ability.
But there's going to be large ships that have that ability.
You use the range 1 template to boost or barrel roll.
Yeah.
With a medium or large ship.
Which what they did with barrel roll.
Yeah, really cool. So coordinate, we all know what coordinate does. It hasn't changed. Range is 1 to 2. The ship performs the action. The jam token hasn't changed. It's got to be within range 1 of the jam token. But I'm going to read it because it's quite long. So when a ship performs a jam action, it chooses 1 ship at range 1 and assigns a jam token, which is an orange circular token. Yeah. When a ship becomes jammed, the player whose effect caused the ship is to gain the jam token chooses for the jammed ship to either remove 1 of its green tokens or break 1 of its locks. If either effect is resolved, it removes the jam token. Otherwise, the ship remains jammed. After a jammed ship gains a green token or acquires a lock, it removes that token or breaks that lock, then removes the jam token. So, jam. The way the jam works is if you jam it and they have a token, they remove that token, then the jam token goes away. If they don't have a token and you jam that ship, the jam token remains on there until they receive a green token or a blue target lock.
Yeah.
Once they have received that,
ones?
once they've received that, that goes away.
Yeah.
And they both go away, but they don't get to keep it. So if you happen to get a jam on somebody fairly quick, you're able to
you mess them up.
You mess them up for 2 turns.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So reinforce. So everybody was complaining about reinforce in the first version. They've made a small change to it. So I'm going to read it. So when a ship performs the reinforce action, it gains a reinforce token with either the fore or the aft side face up, which is the green circular token,
and that's
which is the same.
Right, this is good.
When a reinforced ship defends, if the attacker is in only the full arc, that's the front 180-degree arc, or the full 180 degree in the rear, matching the token fore or aft respectively, reduce the damage that attack deals by 1 to a minimum of 1.
So if you can get your ship attacking right on that frickin' line, so you half one way, half the other, the reinforced token does nothing for you. Yeah, that ship right there, he's on both sides, so you can't use the reinforced token because he's on both sides.
Yeah.
So that changes things.
So what they've done is instead of allowing you to,
and you also notice the VT49 decimator is the example for the reinforced token.
So they're probably giving it maybe.
So I'm thinking that a lot of the big ships might be getting the reinforced.
That wouldn't surprise me actually.
No.
Obviously we know what the reload does. It helps you reload torpedoes, missiles, or bombs. Upgrade cards that have fewer active charges than its charge limit.
Yeah, so it now choose one of the ships equipped
with either one of those upgrade cards, and that has a fewer active charge than its charge limit.
And it can recharge 1.
That card recovers 1 charge.
Yeah.
The ship gains 1 disarm token. So you're going to be able to gain an
attack.
You gain a charge with any of your weapons. So if you charge it up, you gain the charge token. But once you do that,
you know what they're getting rid of? The need to flip your upgrade cards back and forth.
Yeah. So
it'll just be tokens.
It's just be tokens, which is fine.
Yeah. Rotating
the
turrets.
Rotate of the turret, we already know about that.
Slams,
we know about that. That hasn't changed. Tractor tokens, those haven't changed. Nope, they haven't changed.
No, one thing that I noticed barrel rolls is they haven't gone into a different barrel roll for large ships. You remember barrels one way, and I haven't seen anything mentioned yet on that.
Condition cards,
we love them. They're in there.
Arcs, besides the front arc and the bullseye arc described in detail earlier, there are other arcs. These arcs are sometimes used with primary or special attacks, or are used with the card effect.
Yeah.
Standard arcs, obviously out of the front.
And the rear.
The full arcs there are 2 full
180s.
arcs. That use of the hash marks on the side of the ship. Instead, there is the full front arc and the full rear arc.
Yeah.
Which we know. The turret arcs, which we're familiar with, you're going to get a turret thing which moves the arc side to side. So you're going to be able to take the turret.
It's either a single
and you
or
move
a double.
or it's a single or a double. So maybe some small ships might have a turret. Right?
Well, they're showing right here.
Like
small ship has 1, and the Falcon has.
Well, the
2.
aggressor has that, right? It looks like an aggressor actually.
Okay, let's see. Many abilities refer to friendly and enemy ships, which are relative terms. A ship is friendly to all of the ship in its owner's squad, and the enemy ship. Well, that's pretty thing. Devices.
Bombs, mines, dropping and launching devices. To drop a device, follow the steps below. 1. Take the template indicated on the upgrade card. Okay. 2. Set the template between the ship rear guides.
Yeah.
Then place the device indicated on the upgrade card into the play area and slide the glides away.
Yeah.
To launch a device, follow the steps below. Take the template indicated on the upgrade card. Set the template between the ship's front guides. Place the device indicated on the upgrade card into the play area and slide guides of the device into the opposite end of the template.
The same.
Then remove the template.
We got the Sigmar's loop, stationary.
Yeah, those haven't changed.
Yeah.
Reverse straight and reverse bank.
That's still part of it.
And reserve.
Some card effects place ships in reserve. That will be new.
Yes, so you're going to be able to have a ship in reserve, and then it joins later.
Yeah.
So a ship that is placed in reserve is placed on its ship's card while the ship is in reserve. It is not assigned a dial. It cannot perform actions. It cannot attack. The abilities of the ship is in reserve are inactive for all purposes unless the ability explicitly allows it to be used while it is in the reserve. A ship that is placed in reserve always has an effect that causes it to be placed in the play area. So, for instance, the Ghost, when he has like the attack shuttle. So,
no, because that's in docking and deploying.
Yeah.
Ghost and that's something different. The reserve is totally new, where you're going to take one ship, keep it off to the side, and bring it in later whenever you want.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then the docking and deploying, it's the same as it
basically
was.
Hasn't changed.
The same as it was last time. We got credits. Credit to UFFG. Quick reference.
Quick reference guide of everything. So you got planning phase, system phase, activation phase, engagement phase. It's just going through.
Yeah, then they go. Guide. Yeah, and you know what? It's a nicely laid out sheet. You guys will like it when you see it.
It's definitely something that I would recommend for everybody to use for the first little while, just to kind of get used to all the new tokens.
Well, I like that they go over in detail all the lists of what happens when during an attack.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure a lot of players should be doing that.
Yeah,
for
so
a
that's
while,
pretty cool. And that's about it. I mean,
it's only 20 pages.
Yeah, nothing more in depth. From what you've seen, what do you think?
I don't know. I think that the game seems to be improved to the extent where it should be improved. Things are going to be a lot easier. Attack's going to be a lot different. Being able to maneuver dice or maneuver ships and their abilities to barrel roll, non-barrel roll, removing actions. I think in all, the game is becoming way more controlled. And you're going to have to end up flying to be a better pilot. So I'm in trouble. So, yeah.
I don't know about that. I will say I see stuff that interests me, like cloaking on large ships.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued by that.
Actually.
And I mean, if you can cloak, you can barrel roll. Barrel rolling with large ships, not just a couple, but
I'm pretty excited to see what's going to transpire.
They've done some interesting poking. I mean, the force.
I like the force too.
The force is interesting.
I like
the energy. I like the fact that they're building it. For all you get designers out there for the plates and that, you'll be able to create a plate that just puts our cards on, and none of this flipping around and goofing around.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to, I'll be honest with you, I really like the aspect that they inserted the force. I think that this is one of the things this game was missing. Because, to be honest with you, when you fly Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, anybody like Rey, those guys have abilities because they're Jedis, or they have the Force. Sorry, they aren't Jedis, but they have the Force. So you should be able to get some kind of a bonus and a benefit for having the Force. So I'm really excited about using the Force.
I like the ability, as dorky as it sounds, the pre-made cards. You say, okay, we're playing, I don't know, 8 or 9.
The quick builds.
Yeah, the quick builds. I at first thought those were the dumbest things on the planet, but now that I see how they're using them,
it's good for beginning players.
You could take the dumb thing camping and just play by build cards,
or you go to work at lunch and play with lunch. However you want to do it, like John does. He does it all the time.
Yeah, but it just makes it really simple to play the game.
You don't have to. You can show somebody how to play the game.
Yeah.
And then once they've learned how to play the game, then they can download stuff.
For a new player that wants to be more competitive and figure things out faster, bang, bang, bang. This level 4, it's going to be level 4 for a reason. Fly it, figure it out. It's good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, we're going to end it here for tonight. I'm really looking forward to having some fun. Before we just tune out of here and log it out. Please, our website is our Facebook page, Crimson Core Tabletop Gaming, is open Facebook page. Join it.
Jump in.
I know
Terrorize us. It's all good.
James has already inserted one of his events in there, so that's good to see.
Yeah.
So try to get everybody in there.
Yeah, you're a local shop or in
you know what?
Northwest.
Anybody.
Use it to promote.
Winnipeg, Edmonton, whoever sees this, join that Crimson Core page. Those events will be downloaded to that area, so it's going to be easy for everybody to see what's going on. Yeah. So maybe people can come from across. Oh, like we have a guy from Ottawa, our friend Ottawa guy. He's coming in. He's coming into Vancouver. So he's like, yeah, on the 26th, you guys are having your store championship. Hey, I could be there. No problem. Just let me know. Like, let me crash somewhere. So, you know, like, because that was announced and that's kind of a big thing.
It's a free resource for you guys to just promote your stuff, or if you have opinions or thoughts.
Yeah, for
please
sure.
Use it.
Please use sure. And we have all the new episodes go up there.
Any questions or anything? We got crimsonctg
at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been used very often, so
yeah, don't be afraid to
email us
or send us suggestions or whatever. We're just plugging along here.
Yep. And, you know, it's good. So looking forward to it, and we are working on stuff for we are trying to get to. I want to hit 50. So our first time we hit 50 subscribers, there will be, if I hit 50 subscribers, the channel, we will give out a prize. So
yeah, we'll have to do a contest or something.
So 50, the first 50 people that are subscribed, we'll find out who the subscribers are. Those people's names will go into a hat. We'll pull the name out, and we'll find a way to contact you.
Maybe get rid of this Edmonton Eskimo hat.
Sorry, my hair's a mess tonight, so I decided to wear my Eskimos hat. Go Eskies! You know?
We're in BC.
Who cares?
We're in BC.
I was born and raised in Edmonton.
Oh.
Way to go, Eskimos! Let's go, Oilers!
Anyway,
Eskimos,
folks,
Oilers!
Have a great night.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in. You take care.
Bye.
Bye.